Hello, lovely people. I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I'm in the book shack. It is Tuesday. I'm going to do a tag Tuesday. This tag is called the Spoiler Booktag. It was originally created by Scott at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot about 3 years ago. It was resurrected by Jess at Jess Book Girl TV. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat and Alan at Alan's Reads, and so we're going to tackle it. There are 8 questions and a tag people question. So, question number 1, what do you consider a spoiler? Well, a spoiler is anything that spoils your enjoyment of the book, I guess. Whether it tells you what the ending is, or that it reveals a big plot twist, or anything that stops you enjoying the book for yourself. Does the genre you're reading, this is question 2, does the genre you're reading impact what you consider to be a spoiler? I suppose it does. I don't really want to know who did it in a whodunit. Or do I? It doesn't actually matter that much to me, because the enjoyment of a book is more than just what happens. Because if that was the case, you could dispense with all the middle bit and just have the beginning and the end, couldn't you? You know, this guy's dead in the library, he did it. The enjoyment is the whole book, how the characters flesh out, the interaction between them, dialogue, description, atmosphere, all sorts of those things. So it's more than just the end, or it's more than just the culmination of the story. Number 3, all the best bits are in the trailer. Sometimes a synopsis can be too detailed. Do you research books prior to reading them, or do you prefer to know nothing about the book? With many books I read, because they're older, I do like reading classics. I tend not to follow the immediate trends. Quite often, I know the gist of the story already, particularly with classics. I don't research books beforehand. I always do it afterwards. I was watching Pat's video, and she said because she was an English teacher, she always researched books before she read them, because she'd been used to doing that as a teacher for many, many years. Mine's sort of the reverse scenario. With being a journalist, often what happens is that you hear the basis of the story first, and then you research all the details and fact check, etc., afterwards. So that's the way I tend to do it, for the very same reasons as Pat does it the other way around. It's because that's the way I'm used to doing things. Sometimes the introduction or translator's notes can spoil the ending, especially for classics. Has this ever happened to you? No, but that's because I don't read the introductions until after I finish the book. I'd rather go into the book as cold as that might be, you know, as I said, I think with classics, often you know the gist of the story, but I'd rather read the book and then read the introduction afterwards. Bizarrely, the introduction makes more sense to me as an afterward rather than a beforehand. Number 5, name a time somebody spoiled a novel for you. Do you know, I've been thinking about this one. I don't think anyone's ever spoiled a novel for me by telling me what happens, because that doesn't matter so much to me. But the one time someone did spoil a novel to me, and I can't even remember what the novel was, I lent it to them. They dropped it in the bath, dried it out, and gave it back to me. So this novel that had a spine that size had pages this size. You know what it's like if you get a book wet. Yeah, I would have just gone out and bought another one. I wouldn't have given it back to them like that. They spoiled that novel. I could no longer read it. But it wasn't in the way that this prompt is talking about. Number 6, have you ever spoiled a novel for somebody else? I don't know, I might have done. I try not to. And I think the more booktube videos I do, the more careful I am to try and not give any spoilers. It doesn't actually, no, I'll answer that one in a minute because that's question 8. 7, if spoilers ruin novels, are there some authors or genres you can't reread? No, absolutely not. I will reread anything that I enjoyed the first time round. I will attempt to read things that I didn't enjoy first time round if I think I might enjoy them now. And with that, I'm specifically thinking about books that I was forced to study at school that I didn't particularly enjoy, that as an adult I have enjoyed. One example of that is Hard Times by Charles Dickens. I really didn't enjoy our reading of that when I was at school. I was probably 14, 15. I reread it last year and thought it was fabulous. So that's all to do with me and my attitude to it. So no, there aren't any genres or authors that I wouldn't reread because of already knowing the ending. When reviewing, are you spoiler free? Does this limit your ability to discuss? I think you can discuss themes. I try very hard to keep my reviews spoiler free, and the more I do, I think maybe I'm slightly better at it. To start with, I was very scared about ruining it for people. And it didn't occur to me when I initially started my channel that I probably shouldn't do that. Now I feel much more comfortable in talking about a book without giving too much away. So that's something I've learned over the last 18 months or so. And that's it. Tag people is the next one. Now, I've got no idea at all who has done this tag and who hasn't. Like I say, it's been kicking around for a little while. So I'm just going to say, if you like this tag and you fancy doing it yourself, then go for it. So thank you, Alan. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Jess. And thank you, Scott, for this tag coming in my direction. And thank you for watching. I do appreciate you being here. that's all for now. I shall be back later in the week, possibly with another tag video, because I didn't do one last week and I am going to keep on top of them this year. In the meantime, have a lovely week, read lots of good stuff, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.